We have a case management system which is utilised by the delivery team, and what that allows us to do is hold all information on the individual, so the information that would come in at the point of referral, but then also information around their contacts they've had, any disruption activity, everything is stored in there. So it supports both kind of the navigator, the caseworker, as well as relevant members of the delivery and project team to track an individual and see kind of how they've progressed through the programme. In addition to that, we also have particularly police data, but any multi-agency data that might inform or kind of inform us around their progress through the programme. So an example would be around if there were any changes in their offending behaviour or victimisation, any new police intelligence, they would be flagged on the system, and then that information would automatically go to the dedicated analysts for the programme, as well as a disruption and enforcement coordinator. So at that point, if their deterrence plan needs to be kind of implemented, then that will be delivered swiftly, and that is then communicated with the delivery team on a need-to-know basis as well, so they can obviously come back in for support if needed, or just to make them aware of any changes as well. When someone enters the programme, we'd expect the minimum time for them to be on the programme to be 6 months. So we felt that that was sufficient enough time for them to reduce their risk of offending, as well as support them with a transition out of the programme and kind of further embed that learning into the community. So when someone comes in, they'll have a scheduled exit date of 6 months to work towards, but then 2 months prior to that, they will start their participant-led exit plan. So through that process, the caseworker and navigator will work with the individual and ensure that they have that kind of ongoing support and connections with the community to kind of embed the progress and continue to have that wraparound support. And as with entry to the programme, exits are also very much data-led. So we will use multi-agency data as well as insights from obviously the delivery team, but partners as well, to assess their kind of readiness to exit. So we'll need to ensure as part of that criteria that they haven't committed an offence around kind of serious violence or associated offences in a 3 to 6 month period prior to them exiting. But also they may not have done that, but the delivery team might feel like there's more that they need to do in terms of their support element. So it's very much on a needs basis and very much reviewed on a case-by-case basis. When we set up the Phoenix programme, we developed a theory of change, which enabled us to measure output, so like the activities of the programme, what we'd expect it to deliver, and then hopefully see what outcomes that would translate into. We then developed a delivery monitoring dashboard. So that enabled us to look at all areas within theory of change, as well as the operating manual, and allowed us to track essentially every area of the programme itself. So either kind of at a high level overview of the cohort, who's coming in, who's sat in different elements, but then also down to the individual as well. So we'd look at things like contact levels, kind of length of time on the programme, onward referrals. So every part of the programme was captured within that dashboard. And what that allows us to do is monitor, particularly in the early stages, the fidelity of the programme. So we'd look at what was working well and kind of celebrate some of those successes, but also identify areas that maybe aren't being delivered as intended or as well as they could be. A key part of the programme is ensuring that the intervention takes place within communities. So we were able to track where the contacts or their meetings were taking place. And in the early days, I think while we were still setting up, we did find that there were less than we'd expect kind of taking place in the community. So we did some work with key leads within the VRN team to connect the delivery team with kind of key locations, key community leaders within the relevant communities to ensure that they had the connections themselves to be able to be more confident in going out into the community and supporting the individual kind of in their own area.